Hello, welcome to episode 118. Today I got to interview former defenseman Doug Crossman, and I got to go to a really cool game, so you'll see photos at the end. But since the interview is pretty long, we will come back and we'll do our segment after the interview. Oh, also, sorry for the sound quality. We weren't allowed to bring the microphone in, so you might want to turn up your volume and just try to listen. Hello, my name is Cheyenne, and I'm here with Doug Crossman. I'm going to ask him a couple questions today. So, a lot of people know my favorite player is Carter Hart. I was wondering, did you have a favorite player growing up or currently?
Oh, yes. For your generation, it's great. Carter's a great role model when you look at it. It's usually a 10-year period, and so when I was around your age, Bobby Orr was the king. So he was 10 or 12 years older than me. He was the hero, and everybody tried to play like him, especially if you played with the best. And looking back, he was like the Elvis of hockey. He changed everything, like the whole game. So he had that charisma, and so all of us, Paul Connolly, Ray Moore, all that generation tried to play like Bobby Orr. So definitely, he was our hero.
Me and my dad, we watch the World Juniors every year. I was curious, how was it like playing in the tournament in Canada?
Well, the World Juniors was good. I was lucky. When I played, we had to go over to Finland to represent Canada.
Be a little more volume?
We had to represent Canada. We had to go to Finland my year, and it wasn't organized the same way. A couple years later, then they had tryout camps for the players. But back in the day, they grabbed 8 players from the Memorial Cup team that won the year before. That wasn't really the right way to do it at the time. Because it was, then as a couple years later, they picked a team across Canada, but it was great. I played against Larry Anoff and Krutov back in, I think it was 1979, but it was a heck of a great experience. You'll laugh, but Mike Keenan was the coach then, who ended up coaching me also back with the Flyers.
That is really cool. So it was before cell phones. How did you figure out you got drafted by the Blackhawks?
Well, all these questions are great, and they're really unique because when I got drafted, it was done by phone for the first time in history because the WHA folded. And they didn't have time to have a big hullabaloo because they had all these players coming in to sort out the WHA, and they went 6 rounds. And then on top of that, they took underage players because Wayne Gretzky broke the rules and went at 17 into the professional hockey. So he created a whole new dynamic.
Wow.
And it was done by phone. And that was the only time in history it was done by phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Were you happy to be drafted by the original 6 team?
Yeah, I was. Actually, I was. The Chicago Blackhawks, very unique in my day, those 6. Bruins were number 1 for me. But the Chicago, what I loved about Chicago was the crest. And then later on, I guess it was rated the number 1 in all sports was the Chicago Blackhawk crest. It just had that fascination and Hawks and everything. And also Gordie Howe was a hero of mine too. I always liked to stand up there with the legend.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's all good. Great day, great uniform.
You spent a year in the AHL.
Yeah.
Do you think that helped you get ready for the NHL?
Yeah, yes it did. You're always disappointed when you're drafted and you do, but when you get there, it's really a learning experience and it makes you stronger to control hockey and get up the following year. And everybody always wants to, when they go to camp, they want to make it first off, but in hindsight, it did help me. And defense is different. Defense is goalie, and you develop a little slower. Forwards a little quicker. They don't, they're scoring the goals, so they don't get in trouble when the goals go in the net. So it's a little different.
How did you feel when you got traded to Philadelphia?
That was great. It was my first trade ever. It was always a shock. We had a really good up-and-coming team in Chicago, young, and I was kind of shocked by it, but it wasn't the fact it was just a trade shock. It could have been to Philadelphia or anybody initially. But then when you get over that shock, your first trade ever, and I guess I was about 23. Then when I came here, it was great. And the results were really good. 5 years we went to Stanley Cup twice, so there's a lot of really great memories in those 5 years.
Yeah.
history, I always sat beside Ronnie Hextall and Kelly Lindbergh, right beside them. That's the way the dressing room was organized back in the day. And obviously it was a shocking situation. And then the following year, or 2 years later, Ronnie Hextall came in, and they were both great, talented goaltenders, different styles and different personalities sitting next to them, because as you know, goalies have a lot of idiosyncrasies to get ready for the game, and they're kind of known to be in their own world. We don't bother them because they have to keep that puck out of the net. There's a lot more mental stress.
Yeah. I have to ask, what was it like playing for Coach Keane?
Well, it was tough. I knew Mike back at junior, so we played against these Peterborough Petes, and then I was over in Europe with him. And then about 4 years later, Mike comes walking into the Flyer dressing room with Ted Sater, and I knew both of them. And it was, but I hadn't played for him other than 2 weeks over in juniors. But he's a taskmaster. He has his system, and sometimes you can lock horns with a system that tough. And he stuck with it. We were successful, and so it was. It's always a learning experience, no matter who your coach is.
Yeah. My dad talks about the Spectrum all the time. How was it like playing there?
Oh, it's great. It's cozy. Everybody likes the small, right up to the boards. You feel like you're on the ice. Chicago Stadium is like that. And the only difference between Chicago Stadium and the Spectrum was, I found out later, the Spectrum probably was the second loudest, but probably would have been tied. But Chicago had an advantage. I found out years later that they built the organ inside the cement halfway around the building, and it shook the building. And every time the national anthem, there was a big organ in like your heart. And so the Chicago Stadium had a little bit of advantage with the organ on the loudness, but the Flyers, it was a loud, great game. You got to perform, and they were watching every second of the game.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know that. So now, so the fact that we were able to pretty much do that, but it's just us, not
exactly, it's just yours. Yeah. Imagine if you had an organ and a Spectrum.
Oh yeah,
and it was a real. And they tried to save it. I heard. I guess it's third person put it in the new building, but they couldn't because the cement. I think it's such a great organ. I guess the older the organ is, it's like wine. It's really well built, but they couldn't save it because the cement matched. The pipe.
Yeah, that's nice. Let's see. Can you tell me your memories about the 1989 Montreal playoff brawl?
Oh, that's all I'm known for. I played 14 or something years. Lots of games, but that's a long story. But what happened was we had idiosyncrasies, and I always take my equipment out after the game, and Dave Brown takes half of his. And that's why you see us come out late. And so I was the last guy, and I'm scrambling around by myself trying to get my skates on, and I'm panicking that I'm the only guy in here. And so I just took my skates off and grabbed I had to get out there, or it would have been over.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck in the dressing room trying to get changed, and I can't think straight. I should have brought the skates out to the bench and put them on instead of, but you can't think straight. You're just, oh my God, I gotta get out there.
I gotta go,
because everybody's out there. And stupidly, I walk on the ice, but I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to be, hey, what's Doug doing over there? You know?
Yeah, why is he in the corner? Like, what are you doing?
And then I was sitting there and I realized, geez, I got my flip-flops on. Somebody's going to nail me, cut my toes off or something, and then it would have been a worse situation, but I wasn't in history.
Yeah.
That's the story. And that's why you see Dave Brown come out second and Ilka, because they were half dressed, and they already had their skates kind of half on.
Yeah.
And I'm the only guy that take everything off to do them after warm-up. So, it's just, that's what I'm known for. After all my years, I'm the flip-flop guy.
That is the best. I think that's the best nickname you get. Flip-flop guy.
I'm the flip-flop, NHL flip-flop player, I guess, or something.
Hey, how you doing, flip-flop guy? I think that's pretty good right there.
Yeah. They were issued by the Flyers, though. We all had to wear them because they didn't want us to pick up stuff on the floor, all that stuff.
Yeah. Mr. Snyder as an owner?
Oh, it was great. That was tough. It was awesome. He was like the 21st player on the team. He was really part of the team. If he could have put skates on or been behind the bench, he would have been on there. And he was so invested, loved the sport, loved the guys, and you can't ask for better.
Yeah.
It was in his blood. Like,
He's always someone I've wanted to talk to. He seems like a really cool dude.
oh, big time. It's a great to have a statue up there.
Yeah.
He was responsible for getting the team here. He built it up. The best organization. They just honored his Snyder family last week.
Oh, that's so nice. You were taken by Tampa Bay in the expansion draft. What was it like playing for a new franchise in Florida?
Well, it's pretty good. Tony Esposito was running it. He was the first goalie I sat next to when I was 20 or 21 in Chicago.
Yeah.
And him and his brother were running it, and he called me one day and said, "Doug, you're coming to Tampa." Like, that would have been 10 years after the fact when I played with him or something. So it was all good. It's always nice to be wanted for a career last longer. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. You were a teammate of Wayne Gretzky in LA. And what was he like? And what was it like getting to play hockey with him?
Well, Wayne, interesting enough, he grew up about 50 miles from me in Brantford. We were around the same age, and I played junior against Wayne. But I really got to know him in LA and in Team Canada when I played there, and we reconnected. But gifted player. He changed the game as a forward, like hanging up on the red line and behind the net a lot. I think he learned a little bit of that from Bobby Clark. But tremendously gifted player. Him and Mario on the same team. And,
oh yeah, that must have been unbelievable right there.
Yeah, and then you bring along an Ari Lindros too. Who was from my hometown. And, he was in my hockey school for a year, so it's nice to have a connection with three awesome talented players.
Yeah, that probably was. You had the three of them, and you were good.
Yeah, it was just awesome. I was in heaven for that one. Team Canada playing with me down in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I would too.
He doesn't say he needs my opinion.
Yeah. After 900 plus NHL games, which is a long career, and then you went to go play in the IHL for a few seasons. Did you just love that hockey that much? Just want to keep playing?
Yeah, I did, but actually I was offered player coach.
Oh.
So I was down there as a player coach, trying to transcend into it, see if you like coaching.
Yeah.
Rich Goring called me, and they were setting up a team in a big market, and they were eventually going to end up with the Nordiques, or they were going to get a new franchise. So within a year, I feel like I did my part to help players, younger players play as well as bring an NHL team within a year to for Denver.
Yeah. You had a really good team in the 1995 with the Denver Grizzlies. How was that year in winning the Turner Cup?
It was great. I knew we were gonna do very well.
Gritty passing.
It's
drive by Gritty.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Him on his hoverboard,
Exactly.
living his life.
Yeah.
In his Rainbow Tutu.
Yeah, he went too quick. We couldn't get him on screen, but it was great. To win it was great. We had a great team. They put a really good team there, and it was great to win. It's a great memory.
Yeah. I see you at alumni events all the time. What makes this area your home?
Well, I've been here for a long time. My wife was from here. We came back in South Jersey and had a big connection here. And my kids, we were just went to school. And then my defense partner, Brad Marsh, became the alumni president, and he's doing a great job. And he's keeping us old guys, enjoying hockey at our long in the tooth age.
Yeah. Well, that was my last question for you. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And now.
Hey everybody. So really hope you enjoyed that interview with Doug Crossman.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
So Doug was great. So hockey players are such stand-up people, right? So Doug agreed to do an interview with Cheyenne last summer.
Yeah.
And then he texted me that his work got really busy, and that happens. But, he communicated. He was great. He was super nice about it. So really sorry I'm busy. I'm not backing out. We're definitely going to do it. We're going to schedule it, in like 2 months or something. No problem whatsoever. All these guys that do it are doing us a favor, doing you a favor for practice, and we're appreciative. So then he texted me in October, hey, my work is really busy. I don't want to disappoint her. Can we do it after the new year, though? Again, communication was there. Doug was great. So absolutely, no problem. So then he texted us and he said, hey, I want to make this up to you guys. I'm going to take you to a game. Which he didn't have to do. The interview was fine, but it was super nice. So
It was so cool.
it was...
So.
Go ahead.
I gotta explain it all.
I know.
Okay. So we met, right? And then we walked in, and he brought us through this thing that had no line. It was just us, okay? And then we went downstairs to where the fan club party was, which was really cool because I really like that place. And it's like where like all the gyms are and stuff downstairs.
Yeah, the locker rooms and the media room and all that. Yep.
All that. And there was really good food. I got to eat these barbecue ribs. They were so good. And what else did I eat? I ate something else. Oh, and crab fries. Because there was also like chicken and beets down there. And there was like so much other food. I didn't like get a chance to eat it all because there was so much food. But it was really good. Those ribs were top tier. And then we went up and we were going to go to like where like the fancy people seats are. And that little like rim, right?
Yeah, there's like the lower bowl, the top bowl, and then there's the thin people, that thin box, well, the club boxes are and all that.
Yeah. And then we did another set of stairs, kept going up to the alumni suites. And then we went to number 61, the alumni seats of 61. I remember the thing because we had to memorize where we were. And then we sat in there, and there was like this table, and there was like a sink, and there was this fridge with drinks. That was cool. And then there was chips and pretzels and popcorn up there, and there was like some bar seats too. And then there was like a row of like 3x4 seats.
Super
and
comfy seats too.
They were like leather seats. They were like this seat. They were really nice. And then we got to watch the game, and we were right behind Erickson for the beginning.
For two of the periods.
For two of the periods, which Dad likes watching from the goalie's point of view because we're both goalies, so we like watching from that point of view.
Yeah, I don't like being on the center ice line. I'm used to seeing the game that way, so I prefer those seats. So that worked out great too.
Yeah. Then we got to watch the whole game, and it was really cool. And then we won in shootout.
And we had our own bathroom.
And we had our own bathroom. I forgot about that. And it was a really nice bathroom.
And not only so, we got to sit with Doug Crossman, which was great. Because watching a guy with 800, sitting with a game, watching a guy who's got 900 games experience, as much as hockey as I've watched in the last 40 years, you still learn things. Plus, Joe Watson was there the whole time.
Yeah.
And Joe's got 2 cup rings, and everybody knows who Joe Watson is. Which reminds me, he'll be at our next fan club meeting on the 22nd, signing his book. So don't forget to come meet Joe Watson and join the fan club. But yeah, Joe Watson was there the whole time. Plus, let's see, Brad Marsh, Bob Kelly, Dave Schultz. I missed a player. Oh, they all came in the boxes, so they were in and out. Oh, and actually, this was the cool thing. We were sitting next to Keith Primo and his family, which was awesome. So former captain Keith Primo, because obviously his kid was playing, and his kid played fabulous. Yeah. I mean, he stole that point for Montreal. His kid was doing great. So I'm always rooting for the Flyers, but it was like his family right there. They were just so excited every save he was making. So, and then we got to say hi to Keith between periods, he was really nice too.
Yeah.
And then on the way out, we saw Scott Hartnell. So it was. I've been to a lot of games and some real playful, meaningful games, but I gotta say that, and obviously because I was with you. But just that experience was the most fun I've ever had at a Flyers game. Plus the game rocked, which was awesome. They winning in a shootout, everybody playing great. First game for Jamie Drysdale with us, which was cool to know that we were at that game. But I can't thank Doug enough. That was great. I hope you really enjoyed the interview. It was very nice of him to sit down and answer all those questions. And then I think just give us an experience like I've never had at a game, which was awesome. Yeah, you were super excited. It was. Even I was jazzed. I kind of felt like a little kid again. Like it was a lot of fun.
It was so cool.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Again, thanks Doug. Thanks to the alumni. Making her feel special. Always makes me happy, and I really enjoyed it too. So that was a very cool experience. I hope you enjoyed the interview. We do have one bit of Flyers news to cover because I know we're a little late because it happened like 2 days ago, but. So, Cutter Gauthier, who I'm a big fan of. I'm a Boston College hockey fan, so I think the kid has a lot of talent. However, don't want to be here. Like Jonesy said, you don't want to be a Flyer? You're not going to be a Flyer. Yeah. So, I do think I don't care the specifics. It's sort of more and more is coming out. It sounds ridiculous because, look, organizations change. GMs change. Coaches change. Even the best of them. Craig Berube got fired. He won a Stanley Cup, what 2-3 years ago? So I don't think it was Torts. I certainly don't think Kevin Hayes had any influence on it. That's just ridiculous. But first of all, no player, no matter what, it's still a game. No player deserves death threats. None of that nonsense online. Now, I will boo Cutter Gauthier every time he comes here with the Ducks or whatever team he ends up playing for, because that's my right as a Philly fan. But I'm not throwing batteries at him. I'm sure as hell not wishing for death wishes. That's just too far. People, calm it down. I get it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Maybe you should give a little speech at our middle school. Just talk to the schools. I think they need this too.
That's for real. Calm it down.
Chill, it's a school.
Calm it down, people.
Chill, it's a game. Chill.
Yeah, I feel bad that, I didn't have these problems from your school. And we just fought at 3 o'clock and then it was over the next day. So, kind of like, enforcers. You just fought and you moved, it was gone. So, but anyway. So, yeah, please, settle down with that nonsense on, social media warriors. However, like I said, the kid deserves a good. The organizational change. You were drafted by Chuck Fletcher. It sounds like they didn't really give Danny Briere much of a chance to talk to the kid. My part that pisses me off is I heard that Patrick Sharp and John LeClaire, who each have Stanley Cups, showed up to talk to this kid and he blew him off. Wouldn't even come out. If that's true, that's ridiculous. Because the one thing you see is hockey players show other hockey players respect. It's go talk to him, even if you don't want to join the team. So anyway, he's gone. I honestly think people are asking me. First of all, I didn't even see the Penguins Flyers game. It was on, but my phone was blowing up with opinions. What do you think, Mike? My opinion is actually, I think this helps our rebuild. The Flyers were in desperate need of a right-hand shot defenseman, power play quarterback, high-end talent. Well, most people feel high-end talent comes in the top picks of the draft. This guy was a 6 overall. Yeah. According to every report and just the social media posts based on his Ducks teammates, he was well beloved in that locker room. Yeah. To play for Torts, to be a part of a young team's core and maybe leadership, he already seems like that kind of guy. The Ducks players are going to miss him that much. He's only 21. Yeah. Veteran, to get that level of respect at 21 years old already is important. Now, there was an injury concern. He missed most of a season. I get that.
Are you talking about Jamie?
Yeah. Okay. I get that. That's valid. However...
Because we saw him play on...
Yeah, we saw his first game. So he's here now, which I also thought was cool. He hopped on a flight, got here, got to practice, played the next game. That speaks a lot, too. He played well. He got at least one assist. Quarterback to power play, him and Frost. And Frost is starting to play better, too. Yeah. I thought Tippett had a good game. It's a young team. These next 2 games are on the road. These next teams, the Jets and the Wild, Minnesota and Winnipeg. So these are important games. Hopefully they can get on a roll now. But I think it helps the rebuild because, one, he's here. He's already got NHL experience. Cutter's got to finish Boston College. He's definitely going to make the playoffs in college hockey. He's only going to get a few games this year. He'll be a complete rookie next year. This isn't a win trade because Cutter's not going to score. Cutter's going to be an NHL player and he's going to score goals. He's got that level of talent. I now just question upstairs. So, does he have the head for it? Does he have the heart for it? We'll see. But I know we got a player that does. We also picked up a second-round pick, which is nothing to sneeze at because draft capital can help you. It's after goaltender, which we have 2 of them playing really well right now.
Yeah, we do.
Right-hand shot defenseman's the next most important position.
Yeah.
I think we now have that locked up for a decade.
Yeah.
Probably needing the new contracts and all that, but this is the kind of player who can be your number 1 right-hand defenseman, along with now Sanheim and York. We'll see. We'll see if Emil Andre works out. We'll see if Oliver Bunk. But I think we are more solid in the defensive core, and that's what Keith Jones talked about. Vegas wins, the defensive core is so solid. So I'm actually kind of more pumped now. This kid's further along, but not 26, 27. He's 21. Plenty of years to play here. High-end talent. Cutter was a 5th overall pick. This kid's a 6th overall pick. So talent level is, comparable based on the draft. We'll see how it translates to NHL. But at least if you're just looking at the analytics part of it, that makes sense. I'm pumped. I think the kid's great. He's got the personality for it. He's certainly got the high-end talent for it. And he's here right now helping this team. Already helped them win that game in Montreal. Game 1, he helped them win. So I'm pretty pumped, actually. As much as I was looking forward to Cutter for years, I'm kind of over it. I think Danny did a good job with tough circumstances getting a quality return.
Yeah.
And I love, also just to point out, I love that the organization, like obviously they have to keep that quiet that he may not want to come here.
Yeah.
But the fact that when the trade broke, Keith Jones got on the air during the game.
Yeah.
Danny got on, I think it was right after the game. Like, that's important. Like people complain about the transparency under Dave Scott and Chuck Fletcher and all that. Like, these guys got on the air and told us. Now, obviously, can't tell you every little detail about it, who they are, they talk. Stuff like that has to be a degree of secrecy.
Has
The
to
fact
be
that
a little confidential.
Yeah, I mean, GMs have conversations all the time. Hey, what would it take to get Joel Farabee off your team? It doesn't mean Joel Farabee's on the market, and Danny doesn't have to tell me every time somebody calls. But I do think that's a very good transparency to get right out there and explain it. I was impressed. And we also saw Dan Hilferty and talked to him for a minute or two in the box, which was really cool. And the fact that he comes around, he gets the alumni's opinion, gets fans' opinions, he's so out in the public. They want to get this right, and it feels like the Flyers again. It's very exciting. I mean, none of it matters if they don't win on the ice, but they're winning that too. They're still in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And Jamie helps them win now and for years to come. So, great move. Best of the circumstances. I'm kind of pumped.
Yeah.
So we know this was a very long episode. Thank you very much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed the interview. Please like, subscribe, retweet it if you see it on Twitter, and comment, anything you want. But yeah, please share it on Twitters and social media and stuff. It's on our Facebook page and all. Thank you so much. You good?
Yeah.
I'm kind of pumped. The trade, that the wannabe GM in me gets fired up when it like stuff like that happens. So, and I think it was a good move. So. Best of a bad situation.
Oh, not the plastic. That was really random.
Cool. Hit the button on nice people. Do you have anything else to say?
Hit the button and the nice people?
Hit the button to stop the video.
I don't want to hit the nice people.
Don't. I'll drop the gloves with you right now.
Oh.
All right. Again, thank you to Doug and all the alumni.
Bye.